Hello, everyone. I'm Reverend Matthew Sponicle from St. Luke's Anglican Church in Dartmouth, Nova Scotia, here with my two children. And today we have a special guest. We have our diocesan bishop, who also is our Archbishop of the province of Canada. But we want to talk to Bishop Ron about his role as diocesan bishop. So good morning. How are you today, Bishop Ron?
I am well. It's a beautiful sunny day, even if it looks like winter instead of spring.
Yeah, we had some snow today, didn't we?
Yeah, overnight.
Overnight.
We did.
Did you have anything you'd like to ask, Bishop Ron?
No.
Well, earlier you had something to ask. Do you remember what it was? What does a bishop do?
What does a bishop do?
That's a great question, Ben. A bishop is a leader in the church. A bishop leads a diocese, which is a whole collection of churches. And in my case, all the churches in Nova Scotia and in Prince Edward Island. So there's about 230 churches that I lead. And my job is to make sure that the leaders in each one of those churches are cared for, and that there are leaders in each of those churches, and that all of us all together in the diocese are gathered to be able to make good decisions about what the church should be doing right now, what all the people that are a part of each one of those churches, what we should be doing right now to be doing God's work.
So what do you do to help God in God's world?
Well, first of all, I do the same thing that anyone else in God's world is supposed to do. Anyone who follows Jesus. I pray, I go to worship, I read the Bible, I try to live my life in a way that honors the life of Jesus and what Jesus did. Now that's what every person who follows Jesus is supposed to be doing. But in addition to that, I help for the church to make decisions about what we should be doing all together at this point in time. So that means I lead a lot of conversations with people about how we make decisions about things, all kinds of things, from, I don't know, how many buildings we've got, to how we should train clergy, to how we should spend money, to, I don't know, what kind of educational programs we should have, all kinds of meetings, lots of meetings. Many meetings with people. But anyways, I realize sometimes, actually lots of times, even meetings are a part of God's world. But I also go to church, and I go to all kinds of churches. I go to churches all over Nova Scotia and Prince Edward Island, and I get together with people, and we share food, and we share worship, and we talk about what's the best way for us to serve God in that community.
And so in your work as a bishop, where do you find moments of joy and happiness?
The places when I'm with people, when I'm visiting all those churches, and it takes me about 3 years to get around to visit all of them. And so I've been doing this job now almost 12 years, so I've gone around 4 times now. But those visits, mostly on Sundays in individual parishes with people, worshiping together and talking about what gives them joy and what they're doing and what are their challenges, those are the highlights. That's what really gives me the biggest joy in this job.
And what do you find challenging?
Challenging is how we are changing things. We know that we have to change some ways that the church gathers, and that was long before these recent changes, the big changes that we've had in the last 6 weeks. But we know that the church is changing because the world around us is changing. And we don't change very easily. So trying to figure out what are the best kind of changes to have happen, and how I can help people make those changes in a way that is life-giving for them. That's probably the biggest challenge.
Well, thank you very much. they abandoned me, but they want to say goodbye, which is really funny. You guys want to say goodbye to Archbishop Ron? Come on over.
Bye.
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 And thank you very much for
Bye,
taking
Ben.
time
Bye,
out of your
Leo.
schedule.
Pardon?
Thank you very much for taking time out of your schedule to talk with us today.
Oh, this was a joy as well in my schedule. This was a good use of Zoom.
Thank you very much. We'll see you again soon.
You're welcome.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye now.